Good morning, students. Welcome to Antennas and Wave Propagation class. This is the fifth class of Antennas and Wave Propagation. Okay. Before starting the today's class, let us have a brief revision on previous class, what we discussed in lecture 4. So in previous class, we covered what is radiation pattern, what is loop, what is major loop, what is meant by minor loop, what is meant by side loop and back loop. So and also we have seen what is the meaning of null, and then we covered half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls, and lastly we have seen the principal E plane pattern and principal H plane pattern. Okay, so radiation pattern means radiation pattern is nothing but a mathematical function or a graphical representation of the antenna radiation properties as a function of space coordinates is called radiation pattern. In simple words, we can tell like this: the radiation pattern is nothing but a mathematical equation or the graph that gives the information about the radiation properties of the antenna as a function of space coordinates. Either it may be graph or mathematical equation, but it gives the information about the radiation properties of the antenna as a function of space coordinates. Okay, so that is called the radiation pattern. Generally, we will draw the or we will construct the radiation pattern in 2-domain or 3-domain. 2-domain radiation pattern and 3D radiation pattern, 2D or 3D. Okay, so and then the radiation properties, mainly we use the power and field. So for suppose if we find or if we draw the radiation pattern by measuring the power, then we call it as a power pattern. Likewise, if we measure the or if we draw the radiation pattern by measuring the electric field or magnetic field, then we call that pattern as a field pattern. In power pattern, the parameter is the power. The power will changes with respect to the space coordinates. Space coordinates means theta comma phi, elevation and azimuth angles. So in field pattern, the electric or magnetic field changes with respect to the space coordinates, that is theta comma phi. Okay, so and then we considered the radiation pattern, and we discussed some important terms related to the radiation pattern. The first one is the loop, L-O-B-E, loop. What is meant by the loop? Loop is nothing but various parts of the radiation pattern, any antenna radiation pattern, we call them as a loops. Okay, these loops we can classify in broadly into two types. One is the major loop and second one is the minor loop. The major loop is the loop which is in the direction of maximum radiation, or the major loop is the loop which is in the plane of direction of maximum radiation. So the loop which is present in the direction of maximum radiation is called the major loop. Next, what is meant by the minor loop? So minor loop means any loop other than major loop is called minor loop. Except major loop, all are minor loops. Here one thing we must remember is the major loop is the desired one. The desired one is the major loop. All the minor loops are undesired things, are undesired loops. Because of these minor loops, the energy gets wasted, because uh, all the energy that is wasted or unnecessary radiation, that is represented by using the minor loops. Okay, so next, for these minor loops further classified into two types. One is the side loop and second one is the back loop. Side loop is the loop which is adjacent to the major loop. Side or beside. Side loop is the one which is adjacent to the major loop, is called side loop. Similarly, back loop means the loop which is in the direction opposite to the direction of or that of the maximum radiation or main loop direction. The loop which is in the opposite direction to the main loop is called back loop. So these are the various loops or the various parts of the radiation pattern uh, we can represent. So for each part of the radiation pattern we call by using these names. So next one is the what is null. So null is nothing but this null is also a part of the radiation. So in radiation pattern, the part where the radiation is zero is called null. Null means no radiation part. So in the radiation pattern, zero radiation part or zero radiation region we represent or we name it as a null. Okay, next we define two terms. One is the half power beam width and second one is the beam width between the first nulls. So half power, by name, by seeing the name also we can understand it, half power beam width. That means if you take the radiation pattern, if it is the normalized power pattern, normalized power pattern, when we use the term normalized, the maximum value of the power or the field will be equal to 1. So if you take the normalized power pattern, the maximum value of the power is equal to 1. Then if you take the half power, half of the maximum value, that means the point where the power is equal to 0.5. Power is equal to 0.5. So now after indicating these half power points, draw a line from the origin through the half power points. Through the half power points, then you will get the two half power directions. The angle between these two directions is called half power beam width. Half power beam width is nothing but the angle in the in maximum radiation direction, the angle between two half power directions is called half power beam width. So similarly, the beam width between the first nulls. The beam width between the first nulls means in the direction of maximum radiation, the angle between two nulls direction, two first nulls direction, the angle between two first nulls direction is called beam width between the first nulls. Okay, so the relation between the half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls is like this. The beam width between the first nulls is equal to 2 times of half power beam width. Okay, so now when we calculate the half power beam width or beam width between the first nulls, so if the given pattern is the power pattern, so in order to calculate the half power beam width, we equate that power pattern with we equate that power pattern with the 0.5. Whereas if the given pattern is the field pattern, then we equate that field pattern with 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. If the given pattern is the field pattern. If the given pattern is the power pattern, we equate that radiation pattern with 1 by 2 times of its maximum value. So if the given pattern is the field pattern, we equate that radiation pattern with 1 by root 2 times of the maximum value, its maximum value. Okay. Similarly, to calculate the beam width between the first nulls, so we must equate the nulls means zero radiation. So to calculate beam width between the first nulls, we must equate the radiation pattern to the zero. Okay, so that is the important points you must remember to calculate the beam width between the first nulls and half power beam width. Okay, next we covered the principal E-plane pattern and principal H-plane pattern. So the principal E-plane pattern and principal H-plane patterns generally we define for linearly polarized antennas. For only linearly polarized antennas. These terms will not be related or will not be defined to any other antenna other than linearly polarized. So for circular polarized antennas, elliptically polarized antennas, these terms will not be there. Okay, these terms are used only for linearly polarized antennas. For the meaning of principal E-plane pattern means the plane which contains only electric field and the direction of maximum radiation, or we can tell like this: the radiation pattern or antenna radiation pattern which contains the electric field in the only electric field in the direction of maximum radiation, then we call it as a principal E-plane pattern. Okay, similarly the principal H-plane pattern means the radiation pattern which contains only magnetic field in the direction of maximum radiation. Then we call it as a principal H-plane pattern. These terms I explained by considering an horn antenna radiation pattern. Okay, so these are the things what we covered yesterday. So now in today's class, today's class agenda is, so we need to solve one or two problems related to half power beam width calculation and beam width between the first nulls calculation for the given radiation pattern. So after that we will discuss about the radiation power density and radiation intensity, and one or two problems related to these antenna radiation power density and radiation intensity. Okay, so the session outcomes next, the session outcomes means, so after completion of the today's class, that means after doing all these four things, you you all will be able to compute half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls for the given radiation pattern. That means, so immediately now we are going to study about the calculation of the half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. Because of the solving of these problems related to half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls, so you will become perfect about this half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls, and you can calculate these two parameters for any given radiation pattern. Okay, so after that, because of these two topics, you will be able to relate how this radiation power density is related to the radiation intensity. These two are different, but what is the relation between these two terms, that you can clearly understand and you can relate them. So after discussing these two, okay, these are the session outcomes actually. Okay, So now let us take a problem. So all of you please take this problem and try to solve this problem. So I think the problem is visible on screen. I already told you for antennas and wave propagation class you must be ready with a notebook and pen. Okay, so take this problem and solve and and post your answers in chat box. An antenna is having a field pattern E theta is equal to cos theta, where theta varies from 0 to 90. Find half power beamwidth and beamwidth between the first nulls. So if you see the problem, so in the given problem, the electric field pattern is given. The field pattern is given. From that field pattern, you must calculate the half power beamwidth and beamwidth between the first nulls. Just now I mentioned, so to calculate the half power beamwidth for power pattern, if the given radiation pattern is the power pattern, we must equate the power pattern to 0.5 times of its maximum value. If the given pattern is the field pattern, to calculate the half power beamwidth, we must equate that given pattern to 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. Here the given pattern is the field pattern, right? So in order to calculate the half power beamwidth, we must equate this field pattern to the 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. So E theta is the radiation pattern. Okay, its maximum value will be 1 whenever the theta is equal to 0. Okay, so and 1 by root 2 means 0.707, right? Now equate this cos theta is equal to 1 by maximum value is 1 and at half power points the field pattern value will be 1 by root 2. Cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2. And then theta will become cos inverse of 1 by root 2. That means theta is equal to 45 degrees. So since the radiation pattern is the symmetrical about the theta is equal to 0, this half power beamwidth is equal to 2 times of the theta. We will get the half power beamwidth as 2 into 45 degrees, that is 90 degrees. Okay, here you can see. Please mute all of you. Here you can see the solution. So the given pattern is the field pattern. E of theta is equal to cos theta and theta varies from 0 to 90. So in order to calculate the half power beamwidth for the given field pattern, at half power points E theta equal to 1 by root 2 times of the maximum value of given field pattern. Okay, so 1 by root 2 is equal 0.707 and the maximum value of E theta is equal to 1 at theta is equal to 0 degrees. Cos theta is equal to 0.707. Now theta will become 45 degrees. Since the antenna pattern is symmetrical, that means this theta indicates this angle. So here you can see this is the half power point here and this is also half power point. Theta indicates this angle from this half power point to this z axis. This is the theta. So in order to calculate the half power beam width, then we must consider the theta from right side of the z axis and left side of the z axis. That means the half power beam width is equal to 2 into 2 times of theta. Okay, the theta is equal to 45 degrees and half power beam width is equal to 2 times of 45 degrees, that is 90 degrees. That means this angle is 90 degrees. Okay, once again I repeat, as I mentioned earlier, in order to calculate the half power beam width for the given field pattern, we must equate the field pattern to the 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. E theta is equal to 1 by root 2 into maximum value of E theta. Now E theta is cos theta. Cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 means 0.707, and maximum value of E theta is the maximum value of cos theta, that is 1. This 1 we get whenever the theta is equal to 0. Okay, this theta is equal to cos inverse of 1 by root 2, that is 45 degrees. This theta indicates the angle from this half power point to this axis, vertical axis. So but the half power beam width means the angle between two half power points. The two half power points means 2 times of this theta. This is one theta and this is another theta. So the half power beam width is equal to 2 times of 45 degrees, that is 90 degrees. So similarly, to find the beam width between the first nulls, I already told you first nulls, that means the angle between, this is the first null direction at the left side and this is also the first null direction at the right side. To find the angle between these two, we must equate the field pattern to the 0. That means there is no radiation. Here there is no radiation, that's why we are equating the radiation pattern. Okay, in order to calculate beam width between the first nulls, E theta is equal to 0, then theta will become 90 degrees. So beam width between the first nulls is equal to 2 times of 90 degrees, that is 190. 1 theta indicates the angle between this first null direction to this vertical axis, theta. This is another theta. The beam width between the first nulls means 2 times of theta. Okay, I think it is clear. Someone from the students, శేక్షావళి అర్థమైందమ్మా ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఎలా సాల్వ్ చేయాలో? ప్రాబ్లం రిలేటెడ్ టు half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. If you have any doubt, please ask.
Symmetrical, asymmetrical అని ఎలా తెలుసుకోవచ్చు సార్?
The given radiation pattern is symmetrical. ఎలా అంటే, for suppose if you take z axis, this vertical axis as a reference, సో మనకి రైట్ సైడ్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఎలా అయితే ఉందో లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ కూడా సేమ్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా అలాగే ఉంటుంది. సో అలాగే ఉంటే దాన్ని మనము వి కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఏ సిమెట్రికల్ ప్యాటర్న్. సిమెట్రికల్. హలో, సిమెట్రికల్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఒక వర్టికల్ యాక్సిస్ని రెఫరెన్స్గా తీసుకుంటే, దట్ మీన్స్ థీటా ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0. థీటా ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ 0ని రెఫరెన్స్గా తీసుకుంటే రైట్ సైడ్ 90 degrees, లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ 90 degrees, రెండిటికి ప్యాటర్న్ విల్ బి సేమ్. దట్స్ వై ద రేడియేషన్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఈజ్ సిమెట్రికల్ అబౌట్ ద థీటా ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ 0 యాక్సిస్. ఇక్కడ చూడండి మీరు, యూ కెన్ సీ హియర్. సో ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ దిస్ యాజ్ ఎ రెఫరెన్స్, ఇఫ్ యూ సపోజ్ సే దిస్ యాజ్ ఏ థీటా ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ 0, లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఎలా అయితే ఉందో రేడియేషన్ ప్యాటర్న్, రైట్ సైడ్ కూడా అలాగే ఉంటుంది, అవునా? ఇక్కడ చూడండి, డిక్రీజ్ అవుతూ వస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ కూడా డిక్రీజ్ అవుతూ వస్తుంది. సో అలాగే ఇక్కడ ఒక సైడ్ లీవ్ ఉంది అంటే మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా అదే వాల్యూస్తో ఇక్కడ కూడా సైడ్ లీవ్ ఉంటుంది. సో మళ్ళీ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఒక సైడ్ లూప్, సెకండ్ సైడ్ లూప్ ఉంది, రైట్ సైడ్ కూడా సేమ్ సైడ్ లూప్ ఉంటుంది, ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా అదే వాల్యూస్ ఆల్మోస్ట్. సో దెన్ వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ సిమెట్రికల్.
ఓకే సార్.
సిమెట్రికల్ అంటే రెండు వైపులా ఒకేలా ఉంటుంది, ఏదైనా ఒక రెఫరెన్స్ పాయింట్ తీసుకుంటే. ఓకేనా? ఈ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ అర్థమైందమ్మా కృష్ణతేజ?
అర్థమైంది సార్.
కృష్ణతేజ, కృష్ణతేజ, ఆర్ యు దేర్?
ఎస్ సార్, ఉన్నాను.
ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఎలా సాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నావు అర్థమైందా?
ఎస్ సార్, అర్థమైంది సార్.
డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగండి ఏదైనా, ఎందుకంటే బికాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దిస్ we need to solve some more problems also. Okay?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఇంకా ఎవరన్నా ఏదైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగండి అమ్మా, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ.
Repeat it again, sir.
PPT
Again, sir. One more, sir.
నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు. PPT is not visible.
No, sir. Repeat it again, sir.
ఇంకోసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయండి.
ఇంకోసారి చెప్పమంటారా? ఓకే, చూడండి, జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. So the given problem is like this: an antenna is having field pattern given E theta is equal to cos theta for theta lies between 0 to 90. Find half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. సో దీన్ని మనము ఈ theta is equal to cos theta అని మనం ఏమంటున్నాము? వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫీల్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్. Field pattern means radiation pattern. So as we already know the definition of the radiation pattern is nothing but a mathematical equation or a graph. So here the given one is the mathematical equation. This equation is the function of theta, that means space coordinate. So that's why we are calling E theta as a field pattern or the radiation pattern. Okay, for this radiation pattern we need to calculate half power beam width and beam width between first nulls. Okay, so half power beam width calculate చేయాలి అంటే మనము ఈ రేడియేషన్ ప్యాటర్న్ని, దిస్ గివెన్ రేడియేషన్ ప్యాటర్న్ we must equate since the given pattern is the field pattern, మనకి ఇచ్చింది ఫీల్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్ కాబట్టి
సార్ మైక్ మ్యూట్ అయింది సార్ మీది. హలో సార్.
హలో is it audible?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
The given pattern is the field pattern, that's why we are equating this field pattern to the 1 by root 2 times of its maximum value. If the given pattern is the power pattern, then we must equate this power pattern to the 1 by 2, and that means 0.5 times of its maximum value. Okay, సో ఇక్కడ మనం హాఫ్ పవర్ బీమ్ విడ్త్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలంటే we must equate E theta, that means the field pattern, to 1 by root 2 times of maximum value. So 1 by root 2 means 0.707, and maximum value of E theta, the maximum value of cos theta, E theta is equal to cos theta, right? So the maximum value of cos theta is equal to 1. So cos theta you will get as a 0.707. Theta is equal to cos inverse of 1 by root 2, that is equal to 45 degrees. సో ఈ theta అనేది ఏం ఇండికేట్ చేస్తుందంటే, దిస్ theta indicates the angle from this half power point direction to this 0 direction, this vertical axis. This theta indicates angle from this half power point direction to this vertical axis. So in order to know, or in order to calculate the half power beam width, for the half power beam width you will be having 2 theta. So right side ఒక theta ఉంటుంది, left side ఇంకో theta ఉంటుంది. So the half power beam width is equal to 2 times of theta. Half power beam width is equal to 2 times of 45 degrees, that is equal to 90 degrees. సో అలాగే beam width between the first nulls calculate చేయాలి అంటే we must equate the field pattern to the 0. ఎందుకు 0తో ఈక్వేట్ చేయాలి? ఫస్ట్ నల్స్ మధ్యలో ఉండే యాంగిల్ కనుక్కుంటున్నాం. నల్ అంటే దాని అర్థం జీరో రేడియేషన్. దట్స్ వై వీఆర్ ఈక్వేటింగ్ ఈ తీటా టు ది జీరో. సో వన్స్ you equate e theta cos theta is equal to 0, theta as a 90 degrees and beam width between the first nulls is equal, since the pattern is symmetrical, beam width between the first nulls is equal 2 times of 90 degrees, that is equal 180. Okay, I think it is clear. Is it clear? Okay, next we'll move to the next problem. So all of you note down this problem, solve and post your answers in chat box. An antenna, read the problem carefully. An antenna is having power pattern given P of theta is equal to cos theta for theta lies in between 0 90. Find half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. So Bhavani, are you there? Bhavani ఉన్నారమ్మా? భవానీ.
ఎస్ సార్.
ఇక్కడ ప్రాబ్లం, సెకండ్ ప్రాబ్లం నేను స్క్రీన్ పైన డిస్ప్లే చేశాను కదా,
ఎస్ సార్.
కనబడుతుందమ్మా?
ఎస్ సార్.
సో మనకి ఈ ప్రాబ్లంకి ప్రీవియస్ ప్రాబ్లంకి వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్? మనం ప్రీవియస్ ప్రాబ్లం ఒకటి సాల్వ్ చేసాము, రైట్?
ఎస్ సార్.
సో ఇక్కడ ఒక ప్రాబ్లం సాల్వ్ చేసాం, ఫస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లము. సెకండ్ ప్రాబ్లంకి దానికి ఏంటి తేడా?
అది ఎనర్జీ ప్యాటర్న్ సార్.
ఎస్, నాట్ ఎనర్జీ. ఒకసారి చూడండి, ఫీల్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్. ఫీల్డ్, ఎలక్ట్రిక్ ఫీల్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్.
ఎలక్ట్రిక్.
సో ఇక్కడ మనకి ఇచ్చింది సెకండ్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏమి ఇచ్చాము?
పవర్ ప్యాటర్న్.
సో మనకి హాఫ్ పవర్ బీమ్ విడ్త్ కనుక్కోవాలంటే పవర్ ప్యాటర్న్ని దేనికి ఈక్వేట్ చేయాలి? టు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ half power beam width for the given power pattern, we must equate the power pattern to what? ఇందాక చెప్పాను
1/2.
1/2. ఎందుకంటే మనకు డెఫినేషన్లో పవర్ ఉంది, ఇచ్చిన ప్యాటర్న్ కూడా పవరే, కాబట్టి we must equate the given pattern to the half means 1/2. ఒకవేళ మనకి ఫీల్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఇచ్చారనుకోండి, we must equate the given pattern to 1/√2 times of maximum value. 1/√2. సో ఇచ్చింది పవర్ ప్యాటర్న్ కాబట్టి
half of maximum value. Like that, you solve the problem and post your answers in chat box. All of you, please, I will give 2 minutes time. Solve this problem and post your answers in chat box. Please take pen and paper, notebook, write down the problem and solve. Post your answers in chat box. All of you, post your answers in chat box. I'm getting answers from Chandrika, Yogeshwari, Sai Charan, Sandhya, Bhavya, and Pallavi, Malleshwara, Jahnavi,
Meghana, Priyanka, M. Priyanka, Sheikh Jilan, Sheikh Asma, Sheikh Arjia. Please, you all must solve this problem and post your answers in chat box. Akhilesh Kumar, Arvind, okay, very good. Still, some more students must have to respond. They are not responding. Uh, okay, na? So like that, for any given pattern, you can calculate half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. The only things you must remember are whether the given pattern is field pattern or power pattern. First, that you must understand, or you must concentrate. If the given pattern is the power pattern, equate that pattern to the 1/2 times of the maximum value, then you will get the half power beam width. So to calculate the beam width between the first nulls, equate that power pattern to the 0, then you will get the beam width between the first nulls. So if the given pattern is the field pattern, equate that pattern to the 1/√2 times of the its maximum value, you will get the half power beam width. So similarly, if you want to know the beam width between the first nulls, equate the given field pattern to the 0, then you will get the beam width between the first nulls. Okay, next we'll move to the radiation power density. I think you might have studied this radiation power density in electromagnetic theory and transmission lines. So we all know, for any antenna, if we give the time varying current or time varying voltage as an input, that antenna radiates electric and magnetic fields into the free space. For suppose, if you want to know the power at any point in the free space, then that power or that instantaneous power at any given point in the free space can be calculated by using Poynting theorem. So according to that Poynting theorem, the power, instantaneous power W is equal to E cross H. Once again I repeat, take an antenna, give the time varying current or time varying voltage as the input to that antenna, then that antenna radiates electric and magnetic fields into the free space. Now if you want to calculate the power in the free space due to this electric and magnetic fields, if you know the power, if you want to know the power, according to the Poynting theorem, the instantaneous power at any point in the free space is equal to E cross H, where E indicates the instantaneous electric field intensity and H indicates magnetic field intensity. Okay, W indicates instantaneous Poynting vector, that means instantaneous power. Simply we can call it as a instantaneous power. Because of this equation, we can calculate the power at a point in the antenna radiated zone, antenna far field zone. So by using this
Pointing theorem, once again I repeat, by using this pointing theorem, what is the pointing theorem says? Pointing theorem says power W, instantaneous power W is equal to E cross H. E is the electric field, H is the magnetic field. Electric field radiated by the antenna and magnetic field radiated by the antenna. Now, if you want to calculate the power at a point, you have to use this equation. Okay? If these electric and magnetic fields are time varying fields, that means if the electric field changes as E is equal to E into e power j omega t and H is H into e power j omega t. If these electric and magnetic fields are time varying fields, then we define a parameter called average power or the power density, the radiation power density. That radiation power density WRAD is equal to 1 by 2 real part of E cross H. What is the difference for this W and WRD? This W will give you the power at a point. This is a general expression. For suppose this electric and magnetic fields are time varying fields. That means if these electric and magnetic fields are changing with space coordinates and time, then we can compute the power density at that point. Power density at that point, that density is equal to 1 by 2 times of real part of E cross H. Why we are writing real part of E cross H means, since because of this time varying fields, you will get the real and imaginary parts. So in order to solve that field problems, we consider only the real parts. So that is the reason the power radiated is equal to 1 by 2 into real part of E cross H. So if you want to know this equation gives the power density at a point due to the time varying fields. If you want to know the total power radiated, then you must integrate along a closed surface. You must integrate the closed surface. Then here you can see the total power radiated is equal to 1 by 2 times surface integral real part of this density into ds. So radiation power density will give you the power density value or average power value at a point in the space due to the time varying fields. If you want to know the total power, you must integrate this density value over a closed surface. This is the surface integral of this density value into ds, where ds is equal to n cap into dA, where n cap indicates unit vector normal to the surface. Here, to know the total power radiated, we are considering the closed surface. So this n cap indicates unit vector normal to the closed surface, and dA is the infinitesimal area, or that means a small area along that closed surface. Hello? Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, ma. So I think it is clear from the this first equation is given by the pointing theorem, right? So according to the pointing theorem, the energy in the free space, the instantaneous power in the free space W is equal to E cross H. If these electric and magnetic fields are time varying fields, then we define a term that is called radiation power density. The radiation power density W suffix RAD is equal to 1 by 2 times real part of E cross H. Okay, so this equation will give you the power density at a point. Power density at a point in the space. That power density is due to time varying electric and magnetic fields, right? Now, if you want to know the complete power, total power over a closed surface, then you must integrate this density over the surface. You will get the total power. Okay. Next, next term is next. Let us solve a problem related to the radiation power density. So the radial component of radiated power density is given by W suffix RAD is equal to AR A naught sin theta into R square. Determine the total power radiated. So as we have given the equation, the total power radiated is equal to 1 by 2 surface integral of this power density into ds. So total power radiated is equal to surface integral of power density into ds. ds means ds is equal to a unit vector normal to the considered surface n cap. Here the unit vector is a cap r into dA. dA means small area. In spherical coordinate system, any small area or small patch we can represent by using r square sin theta d theta d phi. I already told this equation for 2-3 times in the previous classes. In spherical coordinate system, any small area we can represent as r square sin theta d theta d phi. Okay. So if you simplify this equation, you will get a naught pi square. This is the total power radiated. In the problem, he has given the power density at a point. By using this power density, we are calculating total power by so total power that we are getting by integrating over a closed surface. Okay. Next term is the radiation intensity. So radiation intensity is defined as the power radiated from antenna per unit solid angle. Power radiated from antenna per unit solid angle. So what is the difference actually? What is the difference between the radiation intensity and radiation power density? If you observe the radiation power density definition, this radiation power density will give you a power at one particular point. Whereas in the case of radiation intensity, it gives you the power radiated by the antenna in or per unit solid angle. That means, so in case of radiation power density, we are measuring the power at a point by using the spherical coordinate system. So whereas in case of radiation intensity, we are measuring the power by using radians or steradians. That is the reason. So in the equation, the radiation intensity U is equal to R square into WRAD, where WRAD is nothing but radiated power density into R square. Why we are using this term R square? Because this power density we are measuring in per unit solid angle. So if you remember the definition of the solid angle, so in order to define the solid angle or steradian, we consider a surface a sphere of the surface area r square. To define one solid angle or one steradian, we consider a surface of a sphere of a surface area r square. So that because of that reason, we are multiplying the radiation power density with a term r square. So without this r square, this radiation intensity will become radiation power density because of the multiplication of this r square. This r square indicates a small sphere of its surface area r square. That means we are representing this power density in terms of solid angles. Okay, the power radiated from the antenna per solid angle is nothing but radiation intensity. If you want to know the total powers, so same as the previous case, you must integrate this radiation intensity over a closed surface in solid angles. Okay, let us try to understand this by solving a problem. So in this problem, a radial component of the radiated power density is given by like this. Determine the total power radiated. So here in the problem, the radiated power density is given. So from this radiated power density, we can calculate radiation intensity. So to calculate the radiation intensity by using the radiation power density, we must multiply this radiation power density with r square. Here you can see in the definition, the radiation intensity is equal to r square times of radiation power density. Okay, in the problem, the radiation power density is given W suffix RAD. So in order to get this radiation intensity, we must multiply this WRAD with R square. So when we multiply this WRAD with R square, that radiated power density, we call it as a radiation intensity. That means it is this radiated power we are representing in solid angles. So after that, the total radiated power is equal to the radiation intensity. The radiation intensity will become A naught sine theta and d omega. That means a surface area in solid angles or is equal to sine theta d theta d phi. Finally you will get the total radiated power as A naught pi square. In both the problems, the radiated power is same, but so the antenna, that means from the radiation power density and radiation intensity, what we understand is the radiation power density will give the power at a point the power at a point due to the time varying electric and magnetic fields in plane angle, whereas this radiation intensity will give you the power due to the time varying electric and magnetic fields in the power in solid angles. Both are used to measure the power only, but the difference is by using radiation power density we measure the power in plane angle. By using the radiation intensity we measure the power in solid angles. Okay, that is the relation between these two terms. Okay, let us take a question activity and post your answers in chat box. Radiation intensity is related to radiation density by dash. Just now I discussed the radiation intensity. Radiation intensity means U is related to radiation density means radiation power density, W suffix RAD. All of you read the question and post your answers in chat box. Please do it fast. You all must respond to this question. You all must understand the difference between radiation power density and radiation intensity. All of you post your answers in chat box. What is the answer for that?
Social distance maintain చేశారు మరి.
Radiation intensity is equal to R square times of radiation power density. So the answer for this question is B, R square. Okay. Next, I'm giving you one exercise problem. Please note down this problem. Solve it in tomorrow's class, and you have to explain the answer for this question. I will pick randomly any 1 or 2 persons. That picked one must respond or must explain the answer for this question. So all of you note down this problem. The problem is, the question is, determine the radiation intensity for an isotropic antenna. You know the definition of the radiation intensity. Radiation intensity U is equal to R square into W suffix RAD, where RAD indicates radiation power density. Okay. So now we calculate the radiation intensity U for isotropic antenna. We already know what is meant by isotropic antenna. Isotropic antenna radiates uniformly in all directions in the sphere. That means if you take any direction, the radiation will be same. For 360 degrees, the radiation will be same for isotropic antenna. Okay. So you all must solve this problem. Tomorrow I will ask you. So next, coming to the summary, in today's class we defined the radiation power density and radiation intensity, and then we tried to understand the relation between these two terms. So before that, we also solved 2 problems related to the half power beam width and beam width between the first nulls. Okay na? So once again I repeat these 2 terms. Radiation power density. So radiation power density means measurement of the power in the space at a point due to the time varying fields in plane angle. So measurement of the power in plane angle, that power is due to the time varying electric and magnetic fields. Whereas coming to the radiation intensity, this radiation intensity term is also used to measure the power, but in terms of solid angle. This is also used for measuring the power, but the radiation power density used to measure the power in plane angle. This radiation intensity is used to measure the power in solid angles. Both are used to measure the power only, but the first one is used to measure the power in plane angle. The second one is used to measure the power in solid angle. Okay. The units for the first one is the watts per meter square. The units for the second one is watts per steradian. Watts per steradian or watts per solid angle. One solid angle. So that is the relation between these 2 terms, radiation power density and radiation intensity. Okay. I think I made it clear. Thank you one and all. We'll meet in tomorrow's class.